good.
Hello and welcome to The Bomb Filter, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind, to determine the worst movie ever made. We take bad movies and put them through a series of tests to decide just that. I'm your host, Chris Hoffman. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci. Hey, Rob, how are you? And why are we doing this?
So I'm not good for a reason I will tell you right now. It'll come full circle and make sense in a minute. It might not for a second, though. So every month or so, I try reading like a self-help book. Just like, my music's not picking up. How can I market it better? How do I be more mindful in my day-to-day activities? So I'm reading this book called Declutter Your Mind. And it's on the surface, it seems to make sense because it's like, oh, when you're at work, you think about work. When you're at home, you think about home. Yeah. I was driving with my 3-year-old and 3-month-old, and they were both screaming. And I thought to myself, well, that's a bunch of bullshit advice because it'd be healthier to disassociate just a little bit during this moment because it's just screaming. Yeah. I bring this up because you said on the air you own a restaurant, one I used to work at. 2 owners before you. Yes. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not going to name any innocent. Let's call him Tom. He had a satellite radio in the kitchen, and this was before smartphones. And I would listen to the new wave station, Depeche Mode, The Cure, and all that stuff. So the reason I bring up mindfulness and all this is because it's been a week. Today it's been a week since we said we're going to watch Bangkok Dangerous starring Nicolas Cage. And I've had this song pop into my head every fucking waking moment.
One night in Bangkok in the world's your oyster. The bars are temples, but the pulse ain't free. You'll find a god in every golden oyster. And if you're lucky, then the god's a she. I can feel an angel sliding up to me.
That's where I'm at right now.
Lucky for me, I don't know that song, so
okay, you do now.
That can't get stuck in my head yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I won't know it any better by the time the episode ends.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, you want to get into it, or?
Yeah, let's get right into it, man.
All right. Bad reviews, right? Mm-hmm. Maitland McDonough of TV Guide magazine, a morose, slow-moving action picture. That's it. Yeah. Joe Neumeyer from New York Daily News says, adds to the sad realization that this once vibrant and witty actor is completely controlled now by his inner teenager.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And I have one more.
Okay.
Owen Glimmerman, I guess that's how you would pronounce it for Entertainment Weekly, says, the filmmakers even managed to turn seamy Bangkok into the least exotic setting imaginable. I agree. It's a world of mirrors, man. It's a world of mirrors.
Yeah.
You got any YouTube comments?
Yeah, here's one. This is Al Howe 4 months ago. I wrote the original script, was based in Poland, was stolen by the screenplay and Nicolas Cage. I also have the original storyboard, which I drew to make the film, but the production never happened while my script circulated around. And the next comment was like, this was a remake, right?
Yeah, I did see that it's a remake. That's really funny.
Buzz Me, Bangkok Dangerous. One person commented, my country, Thailand. And the reply wasn't my country, India.
Okay.
And then the last comment was cheese movie.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's a good comment. Okay, that first one had me laughing pretty good. Yeah.
It was all caps, too. It was all capital letters.
Yeah, like he's dead serious. Just some delusional person.
Yeah.
Test number 1, the Keystone apparatus. Yeah?
Okay.
This segment is designed to get a proper evaluation of the ecosystem of films this movie exists in. We average the Rotten Tomato critic scores for the movie suggested to us by the streaming service for our subject and compare our film study to that average. It is then determined if the film is a keystone film in its ecosystem, so whether it's predator or prey.
Okay.
So let's get into it. The test number 1, the Keystone apparatus.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, step up to witness my latest creation, the darn, tootin', rage-inducing, convoluted, highfalutin Keystone apparatus. You want to know if you're predator or prey? Then step this way and have your say. Wait, oh no, what's happening? Something is going terribly wrong!
The Keystone apparatus.
All right, dude. We'll get right into it. A Bruce Willis movie I haven't actually heard of. I think it came out in 2015 called Vice.
I've heard of it. I may have seen a trailer, but it's
well, not a good start for the Keystone apparatus. It got a 4.
Okay.
Snake Eyes. That's our one Cage movie that I added in.
Yeah.
Got a 41.
That's a pretty fucking good movie for the kind of movie it is. I would recommend it.
Okay, I haven't seen it. Actually, if you know who Bill Simmons is.
Yeah, he has a podcast. He did a Trey Parker and Matt Stone episode once.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, he has an opinion that I value on movies, and he actually likes Snake Eyes, from what I've heard. Okay,
cool.
Abe Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Anthony Mackie, who plays the Falcon in the Marvel universe, is like the most recognizable person I can find. 34% there. Speaking of the Marvel universe, Chris Hemsworth in Black Hat, 32%.
Okay.
Rambo is Stallone, and that's not the first or the second. That's like 2005 or something like that.
Yeah.
Got a 37.
All right.
Raw Deal with our boy Schwartzy was one of the suggested. Got a 29.
Okay.
Some movie called Stand Up Guys with Pacino and Walken, but this is like way past their prime. This is like a recent movie, I guess.
When they started being fun in movies and stuff?
Yeah, when they're just not taken seriously by themselves either.
Yeah.
36% there. So the average was actually only a 30.
Okay.
What do you think Bangkok Dangerous got?
Like 25?
Got an 8.
I think I think I just view Nicolas Cage through rosy glasses or something.
I do too. I'm not going to lie, I do too. But that's a negative 22.
Okay,
and it's Prey. That's not as bad as Battlefield Earth, but I'm not going to give all the scores compared right away, so we can do it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. It's bad. It's worse than its Community, and there's some bad movies in there, man.
Yeah, there are.
Let's do test number 2, the elevator movie plot pitch.
Okay.
So an easy way to determine the strength of a movie is to summarize its plot as succinctly as possible. The gold standard for plot pitch for the Bond filter is now The Big Lebowski at 13 seconds. Short, clear, and easy to understand, The Big Lebowski can accurately be summarized in as little as 13 seconds, as I said. When summarized, bad movies are convoluted, unclear, and lengthy. So to help us determine how bad the subject is, we compare the plot pitch to that of our 13-second standard. Any seconds past that is our score. We also administer a star rating. So we'll see how this one does.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, Rob is going to start a stopwatch, and I'm going to give the plot pitch.
Well, I made a new bumper, man. You ready for this?
Oh, let's do the bumper.
All right, let's hear this.
Oh,
all right.
I'm excited.
The elevator movie plot pitch.
All right. So,
oh man, you tested my I don't find fart jokes funny theory. You got me. That was pretty funny. Right. was not expecting that.
All right. 3, 2, 1, pitch.
There's nothing dangerous about this movie. There's nothing Bangkok about this movie. There's nothing interesting about this film. There's nothing intentionally funny about this film. There is, however, some unintentional comedy, most of which is bolstered by Nicolas Cage's hair. He teaches a protege nothing, gives a romantic interest no reason to like him, makes a minute difference in the war against sex trafficking, and ends the life of a for-hire serial killer in himself at the end, which was his best decision. Time.
33.85. So you want to call it 34?
Yeah, so that'd be a 21, yeah?
Yeah, fair enough.
21 and star rating, please.
I'll give it a 3.5.
3.5. Cool. All right. So that's not terrible.
No.
Not terrible. It's not good.
Nah. That's I think we're going to see through the rest of the episode that's the problem this movie has. It's like, it's not bad. It's not good.
It's just so stiff.
You know what it is? I was telling Stacey about this because she watched most of it with me before she fell asleep. It's the movie you would see playing on the TV screen at Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's not edgy enough. It's not edgy enough for them to even really censor it. I guess there's a touch of nudity.
Yeah.
So maybe they would just cut those scenes out, but they weren't important to the plot anyway. It was just like, oh, we need a tit to make it to give it a higher rating so adults will see it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it's a cookie cutter action film.
Yeah.
And there's, like I said in the plot pitch, there's absolutely nothing interesting about it.
Yeah.
It sets itself apart in no way, which we'll see in later tests.
Yeah.
For sure. So why don't we jump into test number 3, the indefensible dialogue counter?
Okay.
So this one's easy. It's a test that gathers horrible lines of dialogue into a collection that's then tallied to give us our score. So if Rob can't defend it, we count it up. Why don't we get into test number 3, the indefensible dialogue counter?
Something that makes absolutely no sense. Something similarly stupid.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we've got clips again this week. I'm going to read you one, and then I'm going to get you into clip number 1 for example number 2.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Sounds good.
So I did not like that he called Bangkok corrupt, dirty, and dense in the beginning. Did you?
I mean, I like that he used the rule of 3, but I mean, I don't know enough about Bangkok to. It looked pretty civil. It looked pretty clean. It looked pretty spaced out. So.
Dude, I completely agree. All good points. And they had a SWAT team checking for snipers when their really great politician was driving around. It seemed to me like it wasn't a very corrupt place.
Yeah,
didn't look very dirty.
That was the good guy. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So no worse than America, in my opinion.
No worse than any other first world nation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Should we tally it then?
Tally it. Yep.
Cool. Number 2 brings us to our first clip.
Okay.
Want to find garbage? Go to a garbage dump. I look for 3 qualifications. They have to speak a little English. They have to want to make money. And above all, they have to be disposable.
Okay. That's a perfect. Well, I thought that you want garbage, you go to the garbage dump. That's cheesy, but then just again cookie cutter dialogue from there.
Yeah. I'm not going to defend it.
Okay, cool. 2 for 2. Number 3. Oh, and by the way, the audio sounded great on that one.
Oh, good. It sounded better than this, right?
Oh, God damn it.
I'm not going to.
And yes. Lucky for me.
Yeah.
All right. Kong has a few insults for Cage before he completely changes his character halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
So in his language, is translated with captions. He calls him a bird shit foreigner.
Yep.
And a duck fucker.
I mean, I liked it. I'm going to give him that. I think.
Okay.
Because it added
I think he tells him to go fuck his mother too, but that was pretty standard dialogue. So
yeah, I think it adds the comedic value to the film that was needed. So okay. I'll give him that.
Okay. 2 for 3. That's 2 so far. On to number 4. This is Cage again. Okay. I guess I'll call him Joe, but they don't call him Joe in the movie. I had to look it up. I didn't even know what his name was.
He says it once. He's like, "My name is Joe," and then that's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even remember when, but yeah, I'm sure he did. Probably to Rain, right?
No, it was it was his voiceover when he was getting up in the cafe at the beginning, or he was leaving behind a sniper or something like that. It was one of those shots.
Okay. All right. So Joe says, the human face can mislead in 1,000 different ways, but the eyes never change. I was taught to start with the eyes. I'm
not going to defend it because he's trying to, show the viewer his craft, like how he memorizes things. And you can tell he was trying to be badass, but he wasn't badass. Yeah. It was like it was like the Whale Wars guy on South Park. Like, oh, he shot me. I'm going to say he shot me. Like, it's like, you don't have to do that, dude.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was around the time. You remember when there was like a huge poker boom?
Yeah.
I was wondering if the human face can mislead in 1,000 different ways was like a nod to how to read a person at the poker table.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is basically just junk science. That's not how you get good at poker, is by reading people's faces.
Yeah, it's like phrenology or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, 3 for 4. We're moving on to number 5, and this is Kong.
Okay.
Right in the beginning, he's talking to the tourist, and he's like, young girls, man, same thing. Oh, wait, no. Okay, my bad. He's talking to Joe about the bad guy on the news. And he says, young girls, man, same thing like devil, huh, this guy? Same thing like devil, huh, this guy?
Was that still when he was trying to, like, pull one over on Joe or on Nicolas Cage?
I think he was like kind of under his wing at that point.
So we know he speaks better English than that. So fuck that.
Yeah. Okay. So 4.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Joe again. He's teaching his protege Kong now, and he says they're training with guns, and he says, "You don't pull the trigger, squeeze it."
Yeah, that's just the corniest line. That's been done so many times in other action movies.
And it doesn't apply. I mean, there's no difference.
Yeah.
Like, I think what they're going for is, like, it's more of a feel than an action.
Yeah.
But that, like, I don't feel a squeeze any more than I feel a pull. Yeah.
Not on a gun, like, where it's like, if it's a hair trigger, it's like you're barely moving your finger at all. It's like,
right.
I don't get it. Yeah.
To me, a pull and a squeeze feel just about as nice.
Yeah.
And like, if you ever want to get on my good side, I'm just telling you my preferences.
Yeah, and I'm not a gun, so I don't know.
Right. Okay. All right. Here's maybe my favorite line of the whole movie. I kind of wanted to do this one myself. It's Joe again. Okay. He's talking to Rain. Rain is trying to get him to understand her name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she sticks his hand out the window or whatever. Yeah. And he finally gets it, and he goes, Rain. Rain is you. Rain is your name. Your name is Rain.
I'm not going to defend it, but I'm going to ask you, have you ever seen the movie with Liam Neeson called Nell?
No.
He finds it got a bunch of accolades, if I'm not mistaken. It's one of his earlier films. Like, he's in the woods. He meets like this naked tree lady, and he's trying to teach her. And he's like, now, human, like, he's trying to like break syllables to her. Yeah. And it's a lot like, it reminded me of The Miracle Worker with Helen Keller.
Oh, God. Yeah, I saw that in school long ago.
Yeah.
All right. Number 8, this is Kong. Talking about the good guy. And remember a couple lines ago, it's very similar. He says, he's a very good man. Same like you, Machon. Same like you again.
Yeah, I mean, it might be one of those things where he has a pretty good grasp on the language, but colloquial sayings just don't translate the same. Yeah, but it just seemed clunky, so I'm not going to defend it.
Okay. 7 for 8. Moving on to number 9. Here's written dialogue, and this actually bothered me a little bit because I just have I have a trigger, I guess is the word we use these days for things of this nature, because it gets my mind going, and I don't want to be distracted while watching your movie. Yeah. But they're in the temple, Joe and Rain. Mm-hmm. And Rain is pointing to the collection can in the temple, and it says 50 coins equals 50 wishes. Yeah. I'm wondering, so immediately in my brain, because I just have a problem, I'm like, okay, well, what about 39? If you add 39 coins, do you get 39 wishes, or do you have to hit the 50 cap? Yeah. And if you hit the 50 cap, do you only get 50 wishes, even if you put 55 coins in there? Do you get 5 additional wishes, or are you capped at 50? That's a good kind of thing that my brain's doing while I should be listening to the dialogue, so I have to rewind and rewatch, and then it hits me again. I'm like, God damn it, is it 50, or is it like, could I put in 100? Like, what if I'm rich? Yeah. How many wishes is the cap on here?
That's true. And can you wish for the same thing 50 times? And that's where my mind went, because you're like looking around all sly. I was hoping he'd just dump all those heavy coins into one pot when everybody's praying. So
no idea how many he even added.
Yeah, just dump them all in.
Not defended then.
Not defended. No, fuck that.
Okay. Number 10. Okay. This is kind of a long one, but I think this is a perfect summarization of the movie, right?
All right. Sounds good.
The truth is, anyone can take out a politician. That's not the hard part. The hard part is getting away with it.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. He's right. but it's an extremely boring and obvious thing to say.
Yeah.
Like this movie. It's extremely obvious and boring.
That's like an art teacher saying, hey, if you want to cut the paper with the scissors, you've got to get the scissors and cut the paper.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Now I know better. I won't try to cut the paper with my fingers or anything next time.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So I just ticked that one off. Is that fine? Okay. This is Joe again. Where is Kong? And then the bad guy says, why do you care? And he says, he's my student. And then he shoots him.
He blows his head off. I'm not defending that.
Okay. 10. I've got 2 more. And this one brings us to our second clip. Okay. This is a Kong line.
Oh, yeah. This is the fuzzy mathematics. Let's go for it.
5,000, eh? 2,500. 4,000. 2,952.50. Eh? What do you say? Come on.
We'll round up. 3,000. You get paid at the end of the week.
No deal.
Yeah.
So why didn't Joe just jump on the 2,500?
Yeah, the lower number. I love haggling bits. I mean, I think Family Guy has one when like he's like $80, $75, $97. You don't know how to haggle, do you? $300. And that's funny because there's a back and forth.
Yes,
and clearly one person's retarded. But this is just one guy haggling with the air, and then Nicolas Cage coming back and rounding up.
Yeah. So that's why I hated it, is because he like sells himself short and then inflates it back up. It's like, no, the minute you say the lowest number that you're willing to do is the number that they're going to jump on. But Joe, being the assassin, cold-hearted, whatever, gives him an extra 500.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. It's like totally inconsistent with this character.
Yeah.
So that's 11 for 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 13 and my last, then we'll see if you have any honorable mentions, but it's more written dialogue, right?
Okay.
This is a doozy. I don't know which part of this pissed me off more, but you know how he got little envelopes that like had information about his hits?
Yeah.
All right. So the one in the floating market. Do you happen to read that?
Is that the one that said fat on it?
No.
Okay.
I'll have to go back and watch it. I think the fat one was the one he burned in the barrel.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. That one just caught me off guard. I was like, fat. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this one's equally as egregious. It says floating market, Wednesday, the 30th of September.
Yeah.
Personal information. White man. He's not a white man.
Yeah.
To start, birthday, August 8th, 1972. Why he needs to know that, I don't know. Sex, male, we know that. Marital status, also don't need to know that. Divorced. Nationality and race, he's Thai. And then religion, he is Buddhism. Height, 178, weight, 34. Why does he need all these? I mean, I get the height and weight. Yeah, I understand. Why does he need to know what religion he is? Why does he need to know that he's... I mean, it literally says he's Thai and he's a white man on the same piece of paper.
Yeah. Maybe he needs it as the marksman and the assassin he is to just know what he's taking out of the world, you know?
Yeah, right.
Or something, it's motivation.
It makes the job a little easier if he knows he's divorced because he's not leaving a wife behind or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I still ticked it off. Unless you're going to defend that. No, I'm not going to defend that. Well, so I have 12 out of 13. Do you have any mentions? Do you have anything that we can pop the score up a little? Yes, this one's great. It's a combination of audible dialogue and visual dialogue. Okay. He's going through it. I don't think it's one of his rules, but he's just like, you need to find a place and you need to make sure you're secure. And as he's like walking through like that giant apartment he takes, the front door is just wide fucking open. Holy shit, I missed that. It's like a giant like French door. It's wide open. That's hilarious. All right, so 13? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's really funny. I didn't catch that, dude. All right, so let's move on to test number 4. Okay. This is the emotometer overspill. Sure. So for this test, we will use another piece of custom equipment we refer to as the emotometer. The emotometer can be fine-tuned to the emotional output of the actor in question. When activated, the meter measures the peak of emotion displayed by the actor in a given scene and compares it to the range of genuine human emotion a person would actually display. 10 cages is our maximum score. That is for our buddy Nicolas Cage, just Joe here in Bangkok Dangerous.
Okay.
Any more than 10, and we record the result because they're pushing it.
Yes.
So let's get into it. Test number 4, the emotometer overspill.
Sure. Okay, sorry.
Oh, God damn it.
My bad.
You blow up fuse, sing from the time we cut loose.
The emotometer overspill, where screaming is king.
Of falling in love.
Okay.
Dude, all right. First one's Kong. This happens early in the movie.
Sure.
He says, "You like ladies? You like boys? How about you, huh? A boy? 5,000. A new car smell. Money back. A pussy guarantee, huh? Whatever happens in Bangkok stays in Bangkok."
Okay.
So the boy has a new car smell, or it's the pussy guarantee new car smell. It doesn't even make sense. He's way over the top.
It made me think buttholes. Like he had like an air freshener in there or something.
Yeah. 19. That
Fair.
came back as. There wasn't. I didn't feel like there was a shitload of overacting, but when they overacted, there weren't a whole lot of low scores here. Okay, number 2. This is Rain, which means it's written dialogue because she literally never fucking speaks.
Yeah.
She hands Joe a note and it says, "I'm happy together with you." Right?
Yeah.
And then she walks towards the camera like it's a fucking soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
And then that allows for Joe to kill the 2 assassins that sneak up on her. She can't hear it because she's deaf. And he blows them both away. She feels the blood on her shoulder and turns around. And then she gets immediately terrified because Joe just killed two people.
Yeah.
And then she does a scared cry. I don't know if you remember it, but it was like a whimper. And so she was scared and sad that he did that, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a really hard scene to act out.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh, it's like, it's like one of those slide whistles. It sounds like almost.
Yeah.
And it came back a 20 on the emotometer.
Who wrote the note?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Me? Did Joe say it?
And I don't know. She wrote the note to him, but she's deaf and English isn't her primary language. So I'm just like, who wrote that?
Oh, true. Yeah. Because it's very nice handwriting. I didn't think of. Oh, that should be in illogical inconsistencies. I won't remember to add that in, but
I'll add it.
Should.
I'll do it.
All right. Nice. All right. Number 3. This is Joe again.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this so not a high score, but I just thought it was fucking hilarious. So, after the SWAT team sees, I keep calling them a SWAT team. I don't know what you call them in Thailand, but they see him shooting at the good guy, right? Yeah. He decides not to. But anyway, they start shooting at him. So he runs down the stairway in the back, and then they see him. So he goes back through the building and whatever. He shoots out onto the street level. So something you see a lot in movies is the assassin is so well trained to steal and become anonymous really fast. Yeah. So he fucking walks up to a guy. He's facing him. Yeah. And takes his hat off. Yeah. And then he puts it on. The guy keeps walking. And then he turns around and there's a dude taking pictures and he just clumsily fucking steals a camera out of his bag. Yeah. Which the guy obviously would have felt, Yeah. And then he turns around and he just aims the camera up into the air and starts taking pictures so that they would think that he's a photographer. He would be immediately the first person I looked at if I was on the SWAT team because there's a guy stealing a camera and a hat and then arbitrarily pointing a camera into the air and taking pictures.
The guy with the leather assassin pants.
Yeah, right. And the leather hair too. Yeah. That came back as 17.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's not great. There wasn't any dialogue or anything. Yeah. It was just so funny.
That was good.
Cage behind all the water barrels. This is number 4. Pushes them at the 2 bad guys. And he's hiding. You can clearly see his face through the hole in the water barrels, and they just walk right by. And then he goes, "Hoo-ah!" Yeah. Steven Seagal or something. He literally says "hoo-ah." and throws them at them. And that came back to 20.
And on that note, does every supervillain have a old computer and water jug storage facility on their campus?
Yeah, apparently. And they keep the room like the color orange for some reason.
I don't know why.
It's better for the water. Number 5. And then number 6, we have a clip just to cue you up. But number 5 is not. I wanted to give Cage's gun a look because it definitely does some overacting. I mean, his clip literally never runs out. Like, he's taking out all the bad guys and never has to reload. He like shoots like 75 times without reloading.
Yeah, don't most standard magazines have like 8 rounds? And maybe you can get a 9th one in the chamber or something like that?
I think like an extended round even would be like, maybe double that, but it's not 75, not for a handgun. Yeah. So that actually came back in 18. The fucking gun got in 18. That's kind of great. First inanimate object, I think. Yeah. All right. Clip number 3. Let's do it. This is number 6.
How many? 1. In the morning? 1. Before bed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's actually much more deranged when there's no video.
Yeah.
Well, in the morning. Yeah. 1 in the morning. And then 1 at night. That's just really, really awkward smile too. Yeah. Throughout the whole thing. Super creepy stare at the end. When Rain is not the girl that checks her out. Checks him out rather. It's whoever's behind the register. Yeah. And the whole time he's not looking at the person he's doing the transaction with. He's just staring at Rain. So, I mean, why Rain is at all interested? She goes over and like initiates. So she must find him attractive, I guess. But yeah, the whole thing came back in 18. Okay. Just kind of strange. Just creepy guy.
The whole love interest bothered me because you ever see one of your friends or someone just become head over heels infatuated with the first pretty person that's nice to them?
Of course.
That's what this whole thing is. He's like, don't let anybody in. These are my rules. You got to be a ghost. You got to eat alone. You got to sleep alone. Someone smiles at him and he breaks the fucking mold immediately.
Yeah. I love too that you couldn't see it, but if you've already seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. She flashes with her fingers, and opens her eyes, and immediately I knew what she was saying. And I've never seen this before, but I'm sitting there waiting for him to understand that it means in the morning. Yeah, and I know this happens a lot in movies where they don't understand for the purpose of making it cute or something. I don't really know. Them working on it together, their language difference or whatever, but really it just comes off super awkward. Yeah. All right, number 7. Do you remember when Kong gets jumped in the alleyway?
Oh, when he does that weird spin with the knife and slashes all their ankles before running off.
Oh yeah. I will. That's coming up. But okay, I'm talking specifically in this case about the biker looking guy with the bandana and the big beard that comes out of the car. Oh yeah, him. Yeah. He's the leader of the little gang, I guess. And he goes up to him and he's like, he says in Thai, not in English, obviously, but he says, "Where's the money, damn it?" And then he takes the case, right? Yeah. Which he's assuming has money in it. So why he asked the question, I don't know, because he has the case now. Yeah. And he goes, "Hey!" hi, like swings into the wall. Like seriously,
Yeah.
it was like that high pitch. He like was really fucking going for it. This guy.
Yeah.
And they came back at 21.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
it's like they got a biker guy at a bar. They just needed like a typecast role, and they're like, "Can you do Thai?" He's like, "I can do Thai."
Yeah, that's good. Number 8. So there's a Kong and Cage exchange here.
Okay.
So it starts with Kong, and he says, "Can you teach me?" And then Cage says, "Teach you what?" And then Kong, while grabbing a beer, he says, "Everything." Without knowing it, Cage is pulling a knife on him. He brings it up and puts it up against his throat, up against the fridge, right?
Yeah.
With like a smoldering intensity.
Yeah.
And then they do the cheesy ass patty cake training where it's like, again,
Yeah.
again. Good. Right? And then he steps away.
Yep.
Turns around and goes, "Ah!" Like, knife on it, right? But Kong, I guess, in that like 20 seconds of patty cake, figured out how to deflect the knife. And then Cage goes, "That was your first lesson."
Yeah.
That was the last one. That was that came back at 23. So it's going to send Joe into the full-on Asscheek Arena.
Okay, and I've got, before we go there, I have an honorable mention.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned patty cake. I thought you were talking about like during the montage when they're both just like in the backyard. Just fluttering their arms around like butterflies.
Yeah, no, not that. But that montage was great too.
I imagine like the whole the DuckTales theme playing behind it, like ding, 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 ding. All right, let's go into the Asscheek Arena.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to Asscheek!
Hello and welcome to the Asscheek Arena. Today we will see the best of Earth against the best in the universe in a battle between the assassin Joe and Galaxy Oppressor Terl. Let's send it down for our introductions. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends from distant planets. Introducing first, standing at 6 feet tall and weighing in at 220 pounds from parts unknown, your challenger, Joe. And now, introducing your champion, standing at 9'2" and weighing in at 520 pounds of pure genius poundage. From Cyclo City's Planet Cyclo, your reigning, defending, full-on Asscheek champion of the universe, Terl. And there's the bell. Both of the competitors immediately pull their sidearms, and it's a bullet battle to start. Both are expert marksmen, but neither is getting the better of each other, somehow. Maybe the fact that they're both bad actors has something to do with it. And by bad actors, of course, I mean the actions and decisions that they make, not the quality of their performance in any given movie. It just seems that if you're a villain, you don't aim well. But I digress. These two, however, still shooting with no results to speak of, Terl now dropping his hand cannon and ambling towards Cage, who should very clearly be out of ammo by now. Terl dodging bullets with the grace of a young Cyclo at the academy. And now for the Cyclo throat lift. But no, Cage deflecting Terl's hand with some sort of interlocking forearm maneuver. You wouldn't think that move would work on a guy such an enormous beast, but then again, you wouldn't expect it to work on anyone. The two combatants still locked in some seemingly infinite wrist grappling, but a quick reach to his pocket and Terl pulls out a rat. "Do you want a snack?" he screams, shoving the rat into Joe's mouth. Joe, now choking on raw rat, punches Terl in the groin. Terl with a groan, but he's able to continue and pulls out a lighter. Terl now lighting Cage's hair, which takes to the flame instantly. Joe screaming and laughing as his face melts off. Joe seemed to wink as a skeleton there before his demise. Maybe a nod to a future pod. Back to you guys. Oh, wow. Terl made short work of him.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Daredevil, right?
Yeah, obviously. We're definitely doing that one, too.
That was intense.
Yeah, it's always intense in the Asscheek Arena, man.
Absolutely.
Always intense. I definitely could have. I got to go back to announcing school. I think the middle there got a little jumbled, but we're pressing on.
Yeah,
I mean, that guy who definitely is not me. That
yes.
Yeah, the full on Asscheek Arena.
How do you say Chris backwards? Cirque. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I sound like a Battlefield Earth character.
Yeah, Cirque and Terl.
Yeah. I'd like to introduce you to Cirque, my companion. Hey, dude, you want to read the ad?
Sure thing. Today's episode of The Bomb Filter is brought to you by FAKEUMS. That's right, that shit-ass plant-based meat has made its way into steaks. If you like crumpled ass with no cheese, twice the carbs, and 6 times the sodium, then this is the product for you. This is why you all look like a bunch of skinny fat sacks of shit, because you're retaining so much water that your folds become saturated. FAKEUMS, because you still want to eat meat.
Damn. Shot across the bow.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Let's move on to and thank you, FAKEUMS. Thank you very much.
Thank you, FAKEUMS. We're proud to have you on.
Yeah, proud to have you on. I'm not eating it.
Yeah, I'll sell it and just wire the money to my Swiss bank account.
Yes, exactly. Let's move on to test number 5, the poor taste detector.
Okay.
So this test is designed to identify and flag potential hazards created by the film crew. These hazards consist of moments of immorality, abuse, racism, phobias, and any other in poor taste scenarios. So let's get into it. Test number 5, the poor taste detector.
Oh my God, you can't say that. It's 2021.
Nice.
Number 1, Kong selling boys and girls.
Yeah, it's never a good look.
No, bad. All bad. Cage kind of has a little chuckle to himself when Kong tells him his name is Kong.
Yeah, I did catch that.
Your name is Kong.
Oh.
Yeah, my name's Kong. Number 3, of course, Bangkok is corrupt. Come on.
Yeah.
Number 4, the typical Americanized Asian club music.
Yeah, it's like vaguely Eastern, but still in 4/4 and doesn't hit any semitones or anything like that.
Yeah, and it's in English.
Yeah.
Not a single American person in there. Maybe there's 2.
Yeah.
But you're pandering to the 2 customers that are American tourists.
Yeah.
Number 5, the street vendor trying to give Joe a living scorpion to eat.
Yeah, was that during one of his hits, or was that another one?
No, I think he was going back to the pharmacy to ask out Rain.
Okay,
but before he goes in, there's a street vendor outside that literally hands him a scorpion, but she's dangling it like it's food, but it's not even limp. It's it's curled up, at attention. What are you gonna do with that?
Got it.
Yeah, just an Asian stereotype that they're gonna eat a living scorpion.
I thought when he had a sniper out and someone's like, you buy now. I thought that was worth it.
Yeah, number 6, Rain, of course, is serving Joe first at dinner and putting all his food together for him. Mm-hmm. I don't mind her teaching him that mint is good for your stomach or whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that he eats first, she's gonna put all his food together. He's an American man who should have. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's doing it for the courtesy of being served because that's a cultural difference. I don't know, but it struck me as a little servant.
Yeah, you can eat when I'm finished.
Yeah, exactly. So I, definitely wrote that down. Number 7. I like this one. I wonder if you thought about this.
Okay.
There are starving children in this city, no doubt. Yeah?
Yeah.
And they're shooting 30 to 40 melons a day for target practice.
Yeah, I was wondering why were they shooting? Can you just get some fucking beer bottles or soda cans or something?
They have starving kids come in and wipe them up and throw them out too. Probably.
Can you imagine the setup for that scene where they're walking out of the bodega with a wheelbarrow full of watermelon?
Past all the starving kids. It's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Number 8, one of the bad guy henchmen slaps a kid across the face.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Number 9, she can't talk because she's deaf.
Yeah.
I mean, deaf people can talk, dude. There's some difference in tonal, pronunciation. Often, I think, because they can't hear themselves, but they can definitely express themselves with language. So I just didn't like that she never said a word. She's not also mute.
Yeah. Like if you're born deaf, you have like that weird like enunciation. But if you become deaf later in life, you have trouble controlling your volume and tone sometimes. But like you sound like a regular person. Well, that's ableist of me. You sound like somebody who's not deaf.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right. Because you were doing it. So
yeah.
All right, number 10. Nearly beheadings market sales personnel and shoppers with your rudders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, just move out of the way. Like, don't run directly into all the fruit and the vendors. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up. All right, number 11. The bad guy says, "Tell me where he's staying or I'll cut her tits off."
Yeah. Imagine John Goodman from Lebowski just coming, "I can get you a tit by 3 p.m.
You want a tit? I can get you a tit. Get you a tit with nail polish on it. Number 12. This happened in Georgia the Jungle as well. It was a little like slight animal abuse in that they, in this case, they are using elephants in a large, uncomfortable environment, like a big crowd, and they have elephants walking around. Why? You know? Don't really need to do that. In Georgia the Jungle, they painted "Just Married" on the ass of the elephant, which definitely wasn't good for his skin.
Yeah.
But just a touch of animal abuse.
Yeah.
The super vague mention of heroin addiction. I think I self-corrected here though. This was my number 13. Yeah. But in the beginning of the movie, I think he had like a sidekick, right? Who he killed by giving him a heroin overdose.
Yeah.
So this just goes to prove how bad this movie is. The bad guy is at the prize fight and his right-hand man is like, he wants heroin. Yeah. You don't even really know who they're talking about, but I think Joe wanted heroin so that he can kill Kong because he was debating it.
Yeah.
But they don't clearly explain that at all. So this probably belongs in a logical inconsistency. So I'm just going to get rid of it here.
Okay.
Because I had it in my head, because they didn't explain it very well to me.
Yeah. I
was like, what, Joe now has a heroin addiction? But I totally forgot about the beginning where he pinned the death on the heroin overdose. So
yeah.
It's not in poor taste. I mean, I guess it is.
Yeah.
To kill your sidekick with heroin or kill them and then give them a heroin shot or whatever. But anyway, I move on now.
Okay.
I got 12. You got any honorable mentions?
Yeah. I don't know if you caught this in a later segment, but I feel like I need to bring it up because this is in very poor taste. When he's trying to assassinate the politician, it was laid out exactly like Kennedy.
Oh, shit.
He was on the left. She was on the right wearing a reddish pink dress with the hat. He was in the book depository. I almost said book suppository. That would hurt. But it was Jackie O and JFK.
Yeah. You're not wrong, man. That's very true. Shit, I didn't catch that. So definitely 13.
Yeah. Okay,
cool. Good catch, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on to test number 6, accounting for entropy.
Okay.
So bad movies rely too heavily on films of the past. When recycling an idea, director or writer is committing to a trope. Almost every movie has one or two, but bad movies have many. So we count them up, and that helps us to evaluate the film.
Okay.
Let's get into it. Test number 6, accounting for entropy.
Obvious tropes. Brought to you by, he's right behind me, isn't he? We're gonna need a bigger boat, and well, fuck me sideways and call me Senator Blimpy.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Number 1, the suitcase assassin.
Boobity-doo. Yeah.
Yeah, living out of a suitcase, jamming your suitcases with guns and not, it's kind of like Raw Deal. The suitcase guy just going around shooting everybody up and living from hotel room to hotel room, standard assassin bullshit. That happens in a ton of movies. Number 2, opening with a police escort for a bad guy.
Okay.
I mean, we know that happens a lot. Number 3, and then number 4 will be a clip. Bell Tower.
Okay.
Happens a ton. Number 4 is a clip, number 4, and coincidentally, it has to do with something else that's a 4.
Okay.
I was taught 4 rules. 1, don't ask questions. There is no such thing as right and wrong. 2, don't take an interest in people outside of work. There is no such thing as trust. 3, erase every trace. Come anonymous and leave nothing behind. 4, know when to get out. Just thinking about it means it's time. Before you lose your edge. Before you become a target.
I mean, is that not like the tropiest dialogue you've ever heard?
Yeah.
Every line of that. So I actually want to charge them with 1 trope per every rule.
That's fine. I'm totally okay with that.
Okay, so that brings us up to number 8 now.
Okay.
They even snuck this one in. They had so many tropes in this movie that they snuck tropes in.
Okay.
Did you hear him say that it's the last job?
That was going to be my honorable mention. Yeah, the being a target on your last job trope.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So he did say it's his last, this is the big one. I'm going to do 4 in one location. It's the last job, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of almost makes it a 0 hour, really.
Yeah.
Like, if you could just it's my last day on the force, whatever. It's like
2 days from retirement.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Number 9, the crime boss is a prize fight enthusiast.
Yeah.
Number 10, letting the kid live. This is a character building moment where Cage is seen. The kid with whatever, he's got fireworks or some shit on a pole. Yeah. And he sees Cage's face, and Cage is becoming a good person now, I guess. Yeah. We've never seen him as really a bad person, but anyway, he lets the kid live. Number 11, the lovable but irresponsible sidekick in Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And that was for the first half of the movie because he becomes a very responsible.
You just cut out. Can you repeat that last line real quick? Does it cut out?
Yeah, I was just saying that he's a lovable, irresponsible sidekick, but then halfway through the movie, he becomes a responsible, good guy. Just horseshit.
Gotcha.
Number 12. When I looked into his eyes, I saw myself.
Yeah.
About Kong. I've heard that line 70 times.
Yeah.
1 for every bullet in his magazine.
When I look into somebody's eyes, I see my reflection and I look at myself.
Yeah. That's, I guess that's technically true.
The true signs of a sociopath.
All right, number 13, the high-speed boat chase, which was hardly high speed.
Yeah.
That whole scene basically was a trope. 14, shooting a propane tank automatically makes it explode. Is that true?
I don't know, because in the Dawn of the Dead remake, that Pantera-looking guy shoots it, and then the propane starts spitting out of the tank, and then he holds a flare up to it.
That's how I felt like it would go. You shoot it, that doesn't give you, there's no, I guess there could be a spark metal on metal.
Yeah.
I just don't, I think it rips right through the propane tank or bounces off. I don't think it provides the spark.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 15, animal bonding means a good guy. Another George of the Jungle reference here.
Yeah.
The minute he rubs an elephant on the head, she wants to rub him on his because he's now a good guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 16, he pulls up to her window exactly as she looks out.
Yeah.
Also, definitely not him on the bike in that scene.
Yeah.
I'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Number 17, the hat and camera theft that I mentioned before is also a trope.
Yeah.
I wrote unnoticed. Specifically unnoticed theft. It's like Home Alone, when Marv is on the ice skating rink, and he like pulls the hat off the kid and like pulls the glove, and all of a sudden he's like just covered in stuff. Only he pulls it off way better.
Yeah.
Number 18, the mob boss assassin scale up. So he starts low and then moves all the way up to the mob boss instead of just going, just kill the mob boss first. You know?
Yeah, save you a lot of grief.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I have. Do you want to mention anything else?
As for trope, I'm good on tropes. I think you covered all of them.
Cool. It's actually a very tropey movie. 18. So we had 13 for taste and 23 for notes. So we got one more test to go into before we move into really fun stuff.
Oh, don't we have? That's right. I'm out of it today. I thought we had two more. Continue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, illogical inconsistencies maybe should be, because it's a weekly test. I just have never really conceived of how to make it a measurement.
Yeah, that's true. I keep it as is, but I'm excited for that segment because I think if you haven't thought of this, I'm going to be really excited if mine comes through. But let's get to the next one.
All right. Is it a crackpot theory or crackpot conspiracy theory bullshit moment? Or
oh no, there's just absolute stupidity that happens.
Oh, okay. I'm rearing up for that. I'm excited.
All right.
Number 7, bad effects, side effects.
Okay.
So a simple test idea with a complex but accurate structure. Very accurate. We're very precise here.
Very.
We grade the movie's computer graphics or practical effects on our custom scale. Dude, I've been reading this this piece of outline right here, right? For every time I do this test, and I just realized just now because I am, I don't know, dyslexic maybe. There is no R on the end of computer, and I've read it how many times now? 13? And I never noticed.
Yeah.
Practical effects on our custom scale, blah, blah, blah. Bad CGI. Deep Blue Sea for the atrocious sharks in that movie. Slightly better than that, Total Recall for the bad claymation, usually practical effects. Good movie, bad effects. Better still, Rock Scorpion. This is a nod to Dwayne Johnson's appearance in The Mummy Returns as a half scorpion, half human god.
Yeah.
And the best of the bad is Beowulf because the entire movie is CGI, and that's almost good enough, but still eerie to see.
Okay.
So that's our ascending scale.
Okay.
Let's get into test number 7, bad effects, side effects.
Bad CGI till the day I die.
All right.
Number 1, there's way too much slow-mo in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That first, bad guy scene where he's using the sniper from the bell tower.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they for some reason wanted to extend it to like a 4 or 5 minute scene, but it could have been 45 seconds. Only they have the detectives yelling at each other in slow-mo inside the building.
Yeah.
Why, I'll never know. And I gave him a recall for that.
Okay.
Cage's hair and makeup is deep blue.
Yeah. Dude, what the fuck was he thinking with that hairpiece?
No idea. It's insane.
Like,
he's
not even balding in real life. Did he just take off the front part?
I think he bought a bag of beef jerky and a bag of crazy glue.
Yeah. Fair enough.
A quick flash EDM Bangkok intro. So it's like Fight Club. It's like just a fucking straight rip of Fight Club. That and it's like cutting and cutting and cutting to scene, like street lights and cars going by and flashing lights and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
It still looks kind of cool, but it's so stolen and overdone that I gave it a recall.
Fair.
I hated that the alleyways were so fucking dark that I couldn't see anything. And
alleys are dark, Chris.
Yeah, sure they are, but when you're shooting a movie, you want to be able to see the action, right? A little bit. So I think it was a trick to save money.
Probably.
They don't have to worry about as many of the fight sequences and things like that if they black it all out.
Yeah, if you're popping off rounds and people are dropping, you don't really need to have like entrance and exit wounds and like all that kind of special effects.
Good point. That's probably the number 1. Yeah. Recall there.
Okay.
Number 5, and I'm going to go into this in greater detail in our next segment, but the underwater kill.
I want to say something now, but I know you're going to say it in the next one, so I'm going to wait.
Okay.
But,
but in honor of what it is, I gave it a deep blue.
Fair enough.
Okay. I'm going to quickly move on.
Yes.
Number 6. Bullets through the boat looked fucking cool. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Those
I gave that a Beowulf.
I agree with that. And also when he was riding his motorcycle and he got shot, he's just like, shit.
Get me over there. He says it and jumps the guy on the bicycle.
Yeah.
The severed hand I thought looked kind of cool too. It was on the gun. I didn't give it a Beowulf because it wasn't as like shockingly good as the bullets through the boat. Where like that was actually really good cinematography. The bullets through the boat. They're under it, and then you see the bullets come streaming through. And the lighting was good.
Yeah.
The effect was really good. I don't know if they actually shot fucking bullets through the thing, but that's like. When we were watching Raw Deal, I was talking about the windshield, and I couldn't decide whether or not they were actually filming them driving through the city with a camera on the hood, looking at the windshield.
Yeah.
Or if they were doing CGI for things in the reflection on the windshield.
Okay.
When you trick me like that, and I don't know whether or not you're actually doing it, that's a Beowulf, at least, you know.
Fair enough.
The severed hand, you could tell, gripping the gun was fake, but it looked good, I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a far cry from the basketball, like when it's clearly a prosthetic arm he's just holding.
Yeah, fucking great movie though.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Rock Scorpion for that one. Number 8, flashback to all of his kills. Right.
Oh, the slow motion bullet when he imagined doing the final assassination. Right.
Yes. Yeah. Repeated footage over and over again during that little segment. You can't give me. There's only 6 different kills.
Yeah.
And then they repeat footage of a kid falling down in an alleyway or something, which is well lit for some reason.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand it. I didn't like it. I gave it a recall.
That's fair.
Number 9, pulling away from the explosions way too soon. What's that about? Like that bike that he was on runs into a wall and it explodes, but they just pull the camera away, immediately.
Huh. I didn't even notice that, but
yeah, that let it shine. Hold the camera on the fucking explosion you just paid $10,000 for.
Exactly.
You know? That's a recall for me.
Okay.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
The house eruption, though, I thought was good. When they go in and he, throws down the, paint cans.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, that looked good. I gave that a Scorpion. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I didn't understand why in, the den where he's killing all the bad guys, the final scene, the final showdown.
Yeah.
It's super dark, but his gun and their guns are giving off a green-yellow flash so you can see things. Like it's lightning or something. And I didn't understand, does a gun provide you with a highlighter color light flash when you shoot it? So I don't think so.
No.
So recall there.
Okay.
Feel free to email us if you're a gun nut and you know better than I do, but I'm pretty sure they don't do that. Also, I'd like an answer to that fucking propane question.
Yeah, bombfilterpod@gmail.com. Don't try selling us Bitcoin.
God damn it. We got next week, dude.
Yeah. Should I mention that right now real quick?
Let's do it.
So Chris runs the Instagram. I'm going to start hopping on there and doing some polls and surveys and stuff for fun too. But Chris does all the heavy lifting and the bulk work. And he gets a deluge of people trying to sell him Bitcoin multiple times a day,
which is funny. It's funny because what I do is I play with them. I think it's really funny. They're never going to listen to the pod either. So I'm going to go ahead and say, if you're a Bitcoin salesperson, don't hit me up. I'm just going to waste your time for my amusement. And I think it's really amusing. In fact, so amusing that I think maybe next week, Rob, we'll play the characters. Yeah.
Let's print out the script and I'll be the sales pitch and you'll be you.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, cool. All right,
okay.
Moving on.
That sounds great. That's a good bit. The Bitcoin bit.
Yeah,
we'll find a cute name for it. But.
The shit coin. There we go.
The shit coin.
Yeah.
All right, done.
Cool.
Number 12 of 13. And it's scene setting 101 for me. It's just film theory 101, and it also has to do with the drug den that they're in.
Yeah.
They do such obvious hot and cold contrast that it's actually a little insulting. So they go from one room that is blue washout.
Yeah.
Right. It's a dark, deep bluish, purplish color. And then the next room that has the goddamn water barrels for some reason is an orange or a red.
Yeah.
And they go back and forth, and I know what they're going for.
Yeah.
But they could be really creative and, give us like a half-lit room where blue and like one light is blue, one light is orange, and give us like interesting angles for your lighting and stuff like that instead of just washing each room out so that we're going from cold to hot, because that for me was like, I get what you're doing, but you're like hitting me over the head with it, and I'm not stupid. So like, calm down, please.
Yeah.
So I give them a recall for that because I mean they're thinking.
Yeah.
It's not a movie where they're not thinking. It's just they're thinking very rudimentary thoughts about filmmaking.
Yeah.
So much so that like a film buff like me, not a film theorist, if a film buff like me can point out how you can obviously do it better immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a director. I shouldn't be able to do that. So
yeah.
Number 13 in my last one here. It's also in that drug den where Cage gets a bomb like around the blonde-haired right-hand man, and then like humps him up against a wall.
Yeah,
and then it's the door where Kong and the girl are, and he like at once he like thrusts the bomb, blows up or whatever, and I mean it, and then Joe is thrown like 8 feet and is totally unharmed. The explosion looked like shit. It was a recall. It made no sense.
Yeah, it was like the grenade equivalent of the stormtrooper trope where shrapnel goes literally everywhere when you blow up a grenade. Like the whole point of the grenade is not the explosion itself. It's all the tiny razor sharp pieces of shrapnel that'll just embed themselves into your body like a shotgun blast.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking, have you ever seen the John Wick movies?
That's another Keanu movie I need to see.
Yeah, well, they're actually good. They're not trying to be super highbrow. They're just like really fun, like well thought out fight sequences with guns.
Yeah. Okay.
And what Keanu does a lot, and what John Wick does a lot in the movie is use other people as like human shields and things.
Yeah.
But in like a totally plausible way.
Yeah.
And he uses like a kind of like gun jujitsu to like pull their guns and knives on themselves.
Yeah.
But it's believable because it's not a fucking grenade ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the grenades don't just hit one person and kill them. It kills all 5 of you that are standing next to the grenade explosion.
Yeah, exactly.
So Cage would be dead. And thus it's a recall. I mean, they got a little explosion. It looked kind of a little bit cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But he would be dead.
Okay.
So they had better effects in them, like that's how I'm feeling about this movie. It was there. It just was untapped.
Yeah.
The movie was there. It was just untapped. And anyway, what I do is I give a 4 for a Scorpion all the way down to a 1 for a Deep Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I add them up and then divide them by how many different instances I point out. We had 28 as a score with 13 different mentions. So it came out of 2.15, rounded down to a recall.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it could have been a Rock Scorpion, know, but it wasn't because they just fucked it up and pissed me off a lot.
Yeah,
All right, so that's our score. We have our scores, and now we're going to get into illogical inconsistencies. It sounds like you have some too.
Yeah. Well, I got one big one, but I'll let you go through your list, and I'll jump in when I think it's necessary.
Okay.
All right.
I'm getting a little bit afraid of what you're going to jump in with. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's nothing like you probably thought of it already, but it's one of those like, wait a minute, ones that I had. So
yeah, I was thinking of something entirely different that you've been doing to me over the course of the
Now, at the end of the show, I might read a verse of lyric from that song, but let's move forward.
Why did I self-sabotage?
I don't know. I'm trying to hold back a little bit.
Well, thanks. High-profile assassination in the beginning. Maybe get some more distance. If you have a sniper rifle, because you can go pretty far away.
Yeah.
The first place they're going to fucking look when the guy dies from a sniper rifle bullet is in the bell tower directly across the street from the fucking police station. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Why American English EDM at the club? I said this already, but It doesn't make any sense. If you don't get paid for the day on a technicality, if you're wrong, you don't come back. I don't come back. I don't risk my fucking life for you. And then on a technicality, he ran from the police. The guy Joe said, don't stop for anything.
Yeah.
So he followed the fucking rules, but Joe's like, no, I'm not paying you. And on a technicality, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going back. He's never going to pay me.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to find a way to like twist it every time, you know?
I had a job down here.
Okay.
It was, I moved, like my wife and I moved down here a few years ago. I did not have any job prospects. I worked at the first place that hired me for like 9 months. Yeah. And it took 2 weeks in a row of me taking some vacation time and them not paying me for me to go, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah. I don't blame you, but well, I don't understand that.
Yeah. I was like, we were strapped for cash and we were driving back from Florida and I got half a paycheck. And I was like, dude, what if I couldn't get back? And I went straight to HR. I lit them the fuck up, and then the rest is history. I was just like, see ya.
Yeah. That's what you got to do, you know?
Yeah.
Why would Rain just approach him and stare at the pharmacy? Like, he doesn't know she's deaf, you know? So she just goes up and apparently she can't lip read at all either. So she's like, the most inept. Like, it's just a disservice to deaf people, her character. In my opinion.
If any deaf people are listening to this podcast right now, I have one question. Wouldn't you have like a card with you, like a medical alert bracelet? Say some people have like, if they get in a car accident, there's something on their wrist that says they can't take this medicine or whatever.
Yeah, a little indicator.
If I were deaf, if I lost my hearing today, I would have like a business card that says like, hello, I'm hard of hearing. My name is Rob, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Here's how to get me home. Something like that.
So you wouldn't just stare at them and then not be able to read their lips?
In a different language from the one you speak? Yeah.
All right, that's fair. Why would she have any interest in a greasy, old, homeless-looking alcoholic, possibly heroin-injecting drifter with a cougar slash on his shoulder?
Very good point.
Dude, like, got lit up by a bear for all you know.
Yeah.
And he's greasy.
What's he doing? What's he doing to attract bears? Like, what's he doing?
Right.
I don't want to be in danger.
He's probably getting something from this pharmacy that attracts bear. You know, and she's a pharmacist. Like, she's making a good living. She's gonna mess with this guy who's either an assassin or just like a guy who's sleeping behind the store.
Yeah.
Kong swipes a knife in one clean motion through 4 guys' legs. Nope, just not going to happen.
That's not how even the shark. I'm also not a knife, and I know that's not how they work.
So you're not a knife or a gun. What are you?
No,
come on.
I'm a man.
Justifying his actions doesn't mean he's not a fucking mass murderer.
Yeah.
I hate this shit, dude. It's like every time there's an assassin movie, it's like we're with them. Like, they're killing people.
Even when he's trying to rationalize killing the politician, he's like, is he bad? He's like, bad to some.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The pool death. Let's do this, man.
Okay.
The pool death is supposed to look accidental. It's. I mean, that's what it said on the card. It said accidental death at the Marriott or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a clear strangulation, and I just want to mention how funny Cage the crocodile is, because there was a shot of what looked like a fucking crocodile, but it was Cage like floating across the pool water.
Yeah.
What did you have to say about that? I'm curious.
The thing that really bothered me about the pool scene is if you're underwater long enough to drown somebody, wouldn't you also drown? I know you're choking them a little bit. Like, even if you're cutting off someone's air, like, and you're underwater, does choking make a difference on how quickly you choke?
You're
not breathing either way.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, you're right. You're starved of oxygen either way. Yeah. It's not like you're siphoning the oxygen off of the water. You're drinking water into your lungs, essentially.
Yeah. So if it takes 4 minutes of strangulation or like being asphyxiated I watch a lot of forensic files. Like, it's not like in the movies where you just put your hands around someone's neck and they're dead in 30 seconds. Like, it takes 4 minutes.
Right. It's never like that in reality.
Yeah.
All right. Well, more Cage just being really funny. Right.
Yeah.
he goes into the hotel. Before he becomes the crocodile, he's in an all black suit, including a beanie where you can see like his like hair coming out of the bottom. And he startles the girl and like dives down to the ground. Yeah. Like you're going to wake her up diving down to the ground, you know, like she woke up, but you're going to alert her to your presence. Yeah. What's the black for then? Yeah. And how many watches did he go through before he decided on that one? And what was it? The aesthetic or was it the underwater reliability?
You know, I don't know, but that's a cool watch.
It is a cool watch.
I kind of want one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's a cool watch. So during that montage of training his protege, there's an incredibly cheesy push-up arm side-by-side comparison so that you can see, because Nicolas Cage had this in his contract, maybe, the size of his arms compared to Kong's arms, which just made me feel bad for Kong and not like Cage is impressive or anything. Yeah. His karate training was incredibly laughable, I wrote. So I mentioned it in the Asscheek Arena and beforehand. It's an elaborate secret handshake, maybe. Yeah. It's just laughable karate. And Kong, who maybe is Thai, maybe knows a lot about mixed martial arts because Taiwanese kickboxing is a huge thing, is probably laughing when he goes home to his wife or whatever, like telling her about this exchange where he's just doing like patty cake, like I said before. With it's not karate, whatever you're doing. Who is the villain again?
It's the dude who's eating in every scene you see him.
I mean, it's the guy he calls and he's like, I'll kill your wife. It's like, you tail me again, whatever. But you see him like 4 times. He has a couple of lines. I don't know what his name is. I don't care at all. Yeah. Why did the henchman speak English?
To move the movie forward, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably it. What kind of hanger is the elephant picture on if he can rotate it 180 degrees?
You know, that was the first thing. I was just watching it, like my jaw was on the fucking floor, man. How does that even fucking happen?
No, there's no way. It's wall mounted something special for the movie production.
Yeah, and that especially pissed me off because the signature was upside down. Like the picture was meant to be pointing down. It wasn't like it was hung by mistake and it was bad luck. That's how the artist wanted it to be hung up.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Is there anything funnier than Nick Cage going downhill on a bicycle?
No, we've seen it time and time again. We've seen it on The Wicker Man.
Dude. It's hilarious. The target is a much better shot than Joe in the boat chase sequence.
Yeah.
Like he's hitting the motorcycle and Joe can't hit the boat. So. Yeah. Kong's personality changes completely. I mentioned this before, but he's no longer like super irritating and like lovable for that. He's just like a total good guy halfway through. Why were there people looking for a sniper at the parade?
Because it looked like the Kennedy. It looked like Kennedy in Dallas.
I guess.
I guess it's their Secret Service just watching out. I mean,
I guess so. Maybe don't wear Kong's watch when you go to attack Joe.
Yeah.
Because that immediately tells him where, you got the information.
Yeah.
The slow motion human shield really pissed me off. Where you see the guy like stumble in and he's just standing there and all of a sudden 2 guns come over his shoulders and cross.
I never got the cross shooting in any movie. Like, isn't it easier to go like that?
Yeah, it's definitely easier. Yeah. But those guys were unaware that he was even there. So they're not about to fire. He shoots them before they even realize he's there.
Yeah.
And he's using the human shield again. It's just like, oh yeah, we were going to use the human shield. Let's just shove it into this sequence here.
Yeah.
Okay, Kong and the girl would be dead.
Yeah.
They're not a trap because the boss sent goons to go kill Joe at his home.
Yeah.
And why are they kept in a cell together?
I don't know why they do that. The whole point
Go ahead.
The whole point is to divide and conquer. You don't want people conspiring how to escape or anything like that.
Yeah, and they would divide their heads from their bodies because they already gave the information that they need.
Yeah.
And now they're a liability only, and they're bad guys, so they both be dead. There's no way to. There's no reason to keep them around.
Yeah.
Why does the mob operate in complete darkness?
I know, like the American mob was just like, I'm going to walk out. There's a John Mulaney bit where he's like, back in the day, in order to not get caught for robbing a bank, you just didn't need to be at the bank when you were done robbing it. You could put your name in cursive in the wall, like Suggin's gang did this.
Yeah, I couldn't get over it. Like the whole bad guy mansion, the whole bad guy factory, whatever it is at the end is just completely dark. Other than the like little bit of lighting that I mentioned earlier, you know, where like the rooms are dark blue or they're like an orangey color.
Yeah.
And Kong was sex trafficking in the beginning, wasn't he?
I believe so.
At least he was pimping.
Yeah,
for sure. What a fucking lame duck ending. Maybe I should have saved this for last. It's not my last piece, but
okay.
Like, you know, you just can't decide how you want to end the movie, which means you don't. Which means you don't have a good movie.
Yeah.
If there's not an obvious way to end it, so they just have him like put a gun up to his head and blow out the side of his head through the bad guy's head. The bad guy should be there should be an equal weight in killing the bad guy. You know. Now, and as I mentioned before, it makes a minute difference in the sex trafficking. In Thailand, maybe.
Yeah. Since we're on the end of the film, can I say my thing right now?
Yeah, do it.
How is he narrating a movie in hindsight when he blew his own fucking head off at the end?
I have that.
Oh, do you? Okay.
That's not exactly how I wrote it down, but yeah, I did think about it because, well, so let me see what I wrote. You're very right. I wrote, who is Cage talking to as the narrator? There's no journal, no audio tapes, and no goodbye to the audience. We never get a watch explanation either, I wrote.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking stupid, dude. The narrator, again, is the device for moving the plot forward. When they need to explain something to us, they have Joe do it.
Yeah.
You know? But, like you said, there's no narrator clean ending.
Yeah.
So all of that could just be wiped away because there's absolutely no explanation for why it ever existed.
Yeah.
Right? So my last point, and I kind of mentioned this before, they make sure to show him slapping on that helmet repeatedly, right?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was funny because the person on the bike later is obviously not Cage. He has a helmet on. He doesn't take it off. And he's in like full leather suit so that you can't get a real feel for his body.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously not Cage. Like that scene where he pulls up and it's, you know, rain comes to the window and she's looking out and closes the curtains or whatever. It's clearly not fucking him.
Yeah.
I think, I'm speculating, but because they couldn't find a stuntman who would be willing to have that hairstyle. I'm willing to bet that there's like, nobody was like, I'm not wearing a wig that looks like that around the set. I'm not growing my hair out like that and going to the Thai bars in Bangkok looking like that.
That's fair. You know when they were making Zoolander, the first 6 months of production, Will Ferrell cut his hair like that?
Holy shit.
And because they couldn't figure out how to do a hairpiece, and then they figured out how to do a hairpiece, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, me walking around like this.
The poodle cut.
Yeah, it was, too. You want to do your movie review?
Sure, let me get it up.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage's hairpiece has 4 rules to live by, but it breaks every single one of them by the end of the first act. How exactly does one communicate with somebody who is not only deaf but doesn't speak the same language as them? Was the last sniper attempt meant to mirror the Kennedy assassination so closely? What were those leaves he chewed on after eating the spicy stuff, which you revealed to me was peppermint? Is a boat motor that small even capable of cleanly sawing off a limb like that? What was the rent on the place he was staying at? Do all evil lairs have a water jug and old computer storage facility? At first, I didn't think I had too many issues with this movie, and I still don't. But as I write this review, I have a lot of questions. Anywho, go check it out.
Oh, thanks.
Imagine working a 12-hour kitchen shift and that song's on every 40 minutes.
No.
With no smartphone. No.
I'm glad you're still with us. I don't know how you managed.
I don't know either.
Dude, let's do back credit names and we'll do the movie comparison.
All right, sounds good.
We'll move on out.
All right.
This one's going to be tough for me, dude. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to do some mispronunciation here because a lot of them are not American names. I try not to write down non-American names because I don't know what they sound like to them, you know?
Yeah.
Like if your name is, Poon Master in Thailand, I don't know if that's funny over there.
Yeah.
But it's funny to me. I just made that one up. But, also, they're not American English names, so I'm going to have a hard time saying all the syllables. So bear with me. Number 1, Panward Hemini.
Okay.
Just stuck out. I don't know why. Panward.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't tell if that was actually like a Taiwanese name or if that was like an unfortunate American or British man.
Yeah.
Panward. Kind of like Squidward.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, John Grower.
Okay.
Not a shower.
Yeah, heating up.
Yep. Number 3, Tuck Napascorn.
Okay.
Okay. Number 4, not funny. Just had to write this one down. Because speaking of scorn, this woman deserves it. Mr. Cage's hair and makeup stylist, Lana Herman. Your name is now in our legacy forever.
Yes.
Lana Herman.
What
are you doing?
Imagine if she did and can ask me anything on Reddit. I'm like, dude, what the fuck were you thinking? That's the first question.
That movie was 17 years ago. Can we let it go? Number 5, Parn R. Ram Trayavong. There are 2 dashes in the first name. Parn R. Ram. 2 dashes. Number 6, Thatchery Boonrod. So it picks up a little bit here. P. Banky.
Okay.
P-E-E. It's first name.
Nice.
I got 3 more. Check out this one. Kitty Lambcum. No joke.
Oh my god.
There is no other way to pronounce it either. Yeah. It's Lamkum.
Lambcum. Nice.
Pong Sack. Pong Sack Ling Dum Num.
Okay.
And lastly, maybe Kitty should have been last, but lastly, R Porn Me Bang Yang.
This is the best one yet.
I'm sorry, that's just funny. R Porn Me Bang Yang is just fucking funny in any language. I don't care what you say.
So, at the risk of coming across as racially insensitive, the Taiwanese or Thailand film credits have the best names.
Yeah, they really do, dude. Dude, there were some of them that had fucking 22 syllables. It's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't write them down because I never would have been able to get them out. Yeah. Anyway, let's do the movie comparison.
Okay.
Battlefield Earth on the Keystone apparatus had a negative 40% and it was Prey. That's going to be practically unbeatable.
Okay.
For the Keystone, Bangkok Dangerous got a negative 22 and it is also Prey.
Okay.
It's a good score.
Yeah.
Good score. The plot. Oh, God. Battlefield Earth had an 81 and a 2-star.
Okay.
The plot for Bangkok got a 21, so you have a full minute less.
Yeah.
And a 3.5 star. The IDC, Indefensible Dialogue Counter, Battlefield Earth had a 25.
Okay.
The IDC on Bangkok Dangerous, a 13.
Okay.
The Emotometer, a 27 from Terl. Good score. 23 from Joe, respectable. Not all the way there.
Yeah.
Poor Taste Detector, 15, Battlefield Earth.
Okay.
Almost got there, Bangkok Dangerous, had 13.
Okay.
Tropes, Battlefield Earth, 22. I thought this was where it was going to take over, but it just wiped the fucking floor, dude. 18 for Bangkok Dangerous, and they both got a recall, which is a wash, so 6-0.
Wow.
Battlefield Earth. Terl is still your champion. Go ahead.
All right. I was laughing to myself because I was on Reddit earlier, like 2 days ago maybe, and there was a subreddit. It wasn't even related to any of these movies, but somehow Battlefield Earth came up, and the top comment was like, "Well, you were learning to spell your name."
It's atrocious, dude. It's the worst movie ever made.
Yeah.
It really probably is.
Yeah.
Probably is. What was our season 1 champ? Why am I'm blanking?
Oh God, it wasn't Suicide Squad. Was it it was Batman and Robin?
Batman and Robin, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a fucking awful movie too.
Yeah.
We're gonna do I think we're gonna do like a tournament style, like bracketing challenge after a few seasons, right? So
yeah. We'll
see who ultimately, after say 4 seasons, is the worst movie ever made. We'll keep going. We're going to keep going. We're doing this forever. This is fun. But as for season 2, Battlefield Earth is a clear champ so far.
Yeah.
Just wiping the floor with George of the Jungle and Bangkok Dangerous.
Absolutely.
So next week, what are we going to put up against this Titan?
All right, so it's come up on the Keystone apparatus a few times, so I feel like we need to address it. We're not trying to do a lot of superhero and stuff, like we want to branch out, but we have to talk about Catwoman with Halle Berry, right? Yeah,
we do, man. It's about time. I think it's one of those ones that you see mentioned in like online lists too. Like if you search worst movies ever, Catwoman. I mean, so like, we've never really spelled this out because we haven't felt the need to. Maybe I have touched on it, but we're not here to do like everyone's obvious like backyard $20,000 budget bad movie. Because movies like that are not movies. Those are like passion projects from people who didn't have kind of funding go ahead for major movie studios.
Yeah.
What we want to do is talk about real film. I mean, we're going to get into the dregs for sure. We're definitely going to comb the desert, so to speak, to find the worst movie ever made in our relentless and perennial pursuit.
Yes.
For the worst movie ever made. But as for now, we're going with major budget flops because, one, we don't have a huge audience yet. We're growing. Yeah. We're growing, and we love you for that. Thank you for listening. But we want to attract you with major movies you've heard of before.
Yeah. And it's also fun. It's fun to take the piss out of things that are wildly popular, too.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to listen to this Catwoman episode because they're going to be Catwoman defenders because there are people who just love anything DC.
Yeah.
They're going to see that we're making fun of it. And even though it's obviously one of the worst movies ever made, they're going to come at, they're going to come at us a little bit, which is great. Yeah. That's what we want. We want to just take it to a scientific level and prove to you why these giant, projects are actually just fucking awful.
Yeah.
And they deserve to be laughed at. And that's what we're here for. We're here to laugh, buddy.
Yes.
We're here to laugh. And I laughed a lot today. This was a really fun episode.
This was a fun episode. I don't want to say it's because of this.
God motherfucking damn. I don't know the song. It's stuck in my head now.
Really
it's going to be one of those situations where you only know one line and you keep singing. What's worse than spending 12 hours at a shift at a restaurant and singing the song over and over again is only knowing one fucking line and having it stuck in your head for 12 hours singing the same line over and over.
Here, before we sign off, let me give you some lines. Bangkok, oriental setting, and the city don't know what the city is getting. The cream de la cream of the chess world in a show with everything but Yul Brynner. Time flies, doesn't seem a minute since the Tyrolean spa had the chess boys. It's about chess. The chess boys in it. All change, don't you know that when you play at this level, there's no ordinary value. It's Iceland or the Philippines or Hastings or this place. One night in Bangkok and the world's your oyster. The bars are temples, but the pearls ain't free.
Wow.
It's fucking awful. It's fucking awful, dude. And I'm going to kill myself with the edits for this one because I so many fucking times.
Hey, you want to plug our shit and then we'll leave.
Yeah, sounds good. So we are the Bomb Filter. You can find us at bombfilterpod@gmail.com. We're on Anchor FM, Spotify, iTunes, and Apple. Basically all the major podcast platforms. If you don't have, if you have a podcast app that's not supported, you can always email us at bombfilterpod@gmail.com and I'll send you the RSS feed and you can just plug it into your app and you can just listen to it that way. And Chris is running the Instagram, the Bomb Filter Podcast.
Yeah, man, we're past 2,100.
Okay.
Still trucking. I'm trying to get us up as high as I can. I want a lot of listeners because I think we're doing something great here. Yeah. We also have a Twitter and a TikTok, and I'm working on a Facebook. I'm still not sure how to even do that. So if you want to tell me how to do that, go to bombfilter podcast at gmail.com. Yeah.
And you can just make a 4-page rant about vaccines that no one's going to fucking read and then yell at each other in the comments for 3 hours.
Yeah, perfect.
Isn't that how Facebook works?
That's exactly how it works. Yeah. Cool. So that's our social media. So check us out. And thank you again for listening. We appreciate it.
All right, peace, guys. This is the Bomb Filter, and we will see you next week.